But KHEM is the etymology of our modern word for chemistry. So you have chem, you have alchemy, and now we have modern chemistry. So literally the original name for Egypt is the etymology and the genesis for our modern word for chemistry. Egypt was the birthplace of chemistry. Even according to conventional archaeology, they were the first civilization that ever manufactured synthetic compound, something called Egyptian blue, which is calcium copper silicate, which is a very sophisticated molecule that we still don't understand today, the manufacturing process that was utilized by the Egyptians to produce this blue paint.
We still don't know how they did it.
Still don't know.
Really?
Right. And
wow.
So the miraculous thing about Egyptian blue and the compound, so Egyptian blue, let's say it's just a paint, right? You find this paint over all of these temple walls covering the entire country of Egypt. So how many gallons of paint do you need to paint all of these temples? We're talking about hundreds of thousands of gallons of paint. This is indicative of an industrial scale chemical manufacturing process that had to be required to produce all of the paint for this industry. So it's a perfect example that
that's a ton of paint.
It's a ton of paint, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of gallons. And they've discovered that the chemical composition of all of the samples of Egyptian blue taken from all of these temples is incredibly consistent. And the compound has not changed over thousands of years. The molecule has not degraded. So it's an incredibly resilient chemical compound. They've also been testing Egyptian blue with modern day applications, and they've realized that it's a material for heat storage as well, and insulation, and it also emits photons. So when Egyptian blue absorbs light, it also emits light.
This says, what does that say at the end there? It says it was known to the Romans by the name ceruleum. After the Roman era, the Egyptian blue fell from use, and thereafter the manner of its creation was forgotten. In modern times, scientists have been able to analyze its chemistry and reconstruct how to make it. The ancient Egyptian word what does that say? Whiz? I don't know how to say that. Signifies blue, blue-green, and green. The first recorded use of Egyptian blue as the color name in English was in 1809. Calcium copper
tetrasilicate.
Tetrasilicate.
Calcium copper silicate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a very sophisticated chemical compound. And they do have a general idea of how to produce this molecule, right, in a modern application. But they still don't understand exactly how the Egyptians were doing it.
Right.
Because they've never found the reactors that were utilized to produce this thing.
Yeah.
Right. So we can make it using modern applications, which give us an idea of how it was produced in the ancient time, but they still don't know exactly how they were manufacturing the compound.